Hey guys, just wanted to put this at the beginning of the video real quick. I'm about to talk about Mortal Kombat 2, and yes, there are some spoilers in this video. So if you are clicking on this video right now and you're watching it, be warned that I just warned you that there are spoilers. Okay? Enjoy the video. And welcome back to Epps World, everybody. I know it's been a while since I've been on here. I know I've been kind of neglecting the channel, but guess what? I had a chance to go see a movie that I've been wanting to see for a while now. Mortal Kombat 2. This, of course, is the sequel to 2021's reboot for Mortal Kombat, where fans had a bit of a mixed reception, I think, for that. But, of course, hey, they listened to the fans' feedback, and Simon McQuaid and his writing team clearly took notes. So they, of course, pivoted hard to deliver exactly what was missing. And the core premise this time around, of course, is a simple, classic, high stakes, Earth Realm versus Outworld, which includes Mr. Johnny Cage himself. I had a blast. First off, let me talk about my experience there at the early screening event. There were actually two screening events going on that night. One for Mandalorian Grogu, and I think they were only showing, for my take, somebody was telling me they were only showing about 25 minutes of it, meaning like unseen footage and stuff, getting some Q&A questions and all that. The other thing that the other screening that was happening, of course, across town was the Billie Eilish screening. And I've heard that's been a party. People have been going to that and just like putting out their phones and oh boy. So yeah, people have been loving the screenings and everything. That being said, I went to the Mortal Kombat 2 screening. Now I went to the second screening. There was one earlier the week before, and then they did another one on Monday. So in that one, we got people dressed up. We had people who got popcorn buckets. They had like the Mortal Kombat. Someone had a Mortal Kombat like clapper on there and everything, for like a film clapper, I call it, and everything. So it was awesome. Everybody was vibing the movie big time. They had a banner where you could stand in front of and take pictures. And then if you had went to the screening the week before, you could honestly skip the line for this one just to see it again. The experience of going to that movie was honestly fun, especially when you see certain parts of that movie, especially when somebody got, taken off the map, I'm going to say, or, eliminated from the tournament. So the first thing that stands out is this incredible cast. In addition to the roster, of course, the chemistry, some of the chemistry worked in it and some of it didn't. But that being said, it worked for the movie, especially if you've seen the older movies, and played the video games. But the one person, of course, that stood out was Johnny Cage himself, this time being played by Karl Urban. Now, essentially, I didn't think that Karl Urban could pull it off. Like, I've seen it in The Boys, I've seen him, but I forget that he's a very versatile actor. He's somebody who knows what he's doing. So he kind of got lost and toned up the weight for it, and learned how to play an actor, basically, a down on his luck actor and everything. He played it with, I would say, supreme meta irony. Of course, this version of Johnny Cage is washed up, and, he was a 90s action star, kind of like a Jean-Claude Van Damme type. And you kind of really don't start the movie with him. Really, you start the movie with Katana as a young woman whose father goes against our bad guy Shao Kahn, and let's just say it doesn't turn out pretty for her father. But it leads Katana to wanting to do, stand up for her people, stand up for what's right and everything. So yeah, there's a little bit of a politicalness into it somewhat. But that being said, who wouldn't, like, why would you want to be under Shao Kahn's uh thumb? Like, that means mean, he's a meanie. He's a big meanie. But it's not, like I said, it's not all jokes and everything. The emotional core of the film, like I said, is Katana, played by Adeline Rudolph. I'm gonna say Randolph. Um, Katana is absolutely a dynamo in this film, and we get to see her emotional struggle between, uh, I would say, undermining her adoptive demon father, Shao Kahn, and to avenge her, avenge her, her true family, like her mother, Sindel, like, is treated so badly to a point where, Shao Kahn doesn't really he literally made this woman undead. Other than that, there, of course, we get our classic heroes coming back. We've got Liu Kang, we've got Raiden, we've got Sonya Blade, we've got Jax, and we've got Cole, who was our protagonist for the first movie. And this is where it gets a little spoiler, and everything. Uh, Cole, let's just say a lot of the things that fans did not like about Cole, they fixed it real quick. He actually ends up fighting Shao Kahn and everything. And if you have not watched this movie, then this is a spoiler episode. This is a spoiler review. Just letting you know. I'll make sure to put that in there. Oh, a spoiler review. Cole Young ends up getting killed brutally. Like, he actually ends up fighting Shao Kahn. He ends up actually having the upper hand and kills him. But at this point, Shao Kahn had just become immortal. I won't give away how he does that either, because it's actually a good part of the movie. But I will let you know that he brutally gets taken out. He ends up getting taken out big time. So he gets KILL'd. Of course, the plot to this movie ends up being kind of very, it's very simple. Like, hey, we've got to win this tournament in order to save the world and everything. There's nothing too complicated. We do also get the return of a Scorpion at some point during the movie. And then we also get the return of Kano, who is, of course, the best part of the movie. Like, he was really underused in this movie and everything. But I'm still waiting for Kano to get that eye. Like, he's got the laser, and I just want him to have the full metal eye. I want him and Sonya to have a rematch and everything. Because we ultimately know what happens on that one. And then we also get one of the best fights in the movie. Liu Kang versus Kung Lao. Kung Lao, they made him look straight up demonic and everything, like bringing him back from the dead and brainwashed him completely and everything. So, that being said, Kung Lao and the Kung Lao Liu Kang fight was probably one of the better fights to watch in the movie. And it actually puts Liu Kang on a mission to save his cousin. His cousin's soul, maybe bring him back to life. Who knows? The climax of the movie. In the climax of the movie, we get, of course, our heroes fighting Shao Kahn. And everybody thinks, Liu Kang is going to be the big one, to save him and everything. Because everybody's used to Liu Kang being the hero. But don't forget, Liu Kang in the video games has, been taken out a couple of times. you know, to a point where he was even a bad guy at some point. So, but it's not Liu Kang who takes him up, but yet Katana. And meanwhile, Johnny Cage teams up with Kano to try to get this amulet that holds Raiden's power, because Raiden got his power sucked out of it. And and this is where we finally get to see Johnny Cage be Johnny Cage. He activates his power and everything. So, the conclusion of the movie itself is probably one of the better conclusions out of them. I'm honestly looking forward to part 3. Now, of course, there are some parts to it that I will honestly say maybe I didn't like too much. For one, you know, Johnny Cage's story, I felt like we kind of needed a little bit more backstory for Johnny Cage. Just a little bit, you know, and he kind of just gets thrown into it, but still, it works. I'll say it works, but I just think I wanted a little bit more Johnny Cage. Um, the way they took out Cole in this movie, it felt brutal, but I have hopes that he does show up in the third movie a little bit, just because like the third movie is now going to be them trying to rescue all their friends and bring them back and everything. But this also gives the potential to bring people like Stryker in. This gives people potential to bring back certain characters I haven't seen, even maybe bring Sub-Zero back to life, you know? Or a different Sub-Zero actually, because Sub-Zero is now Noob Sabah in this movie, and he controls the shadows, just like the way that Scorpion controls Earth realms. Says Sub-Zero has been probably one of my favorite characters to play with. Heck, even introduced his brother to it. We haven't seen his brother, maybe his brother. So there are so many characters in the Mortal Kombat lore that they could introduce. It's not even funny. Honestly, though, I will say this: I give this Mortal Kombat movie probably honestly a 8 out of 10, just because like it could, there's some stuff that can still improve on, I will say. The visuals, of course, of the movie, fantastic. I recommend everybody go see it in IMAX if they can afford it. If not, just watch it on the big screen. There are certain moments in there where you're just like, whoa, I need a 3D glasses for this and everything. So maybe even go see it in real 3D and everything. And then also, if you're a huge Mortal Kombat fan, just the fatalities and the finishing moves and all that, probably one of the best. So, is Mortal Kombat the movie that you should go and see? Yes, definitely. Should you wait until you know, comes out on digital and Blu-ray? Probably not. I would recommend everybody actually seeing it in a theater and everything. So, hey, what are you gonna do? What do you guys think of Mortal Kombat 2? Have you seen it yet? Again, this is a spoiler. This is a spoiler. So if you've gotten to the end of this video and you're complaining about spoilers and whatnot, then why? First off, thank you for watching the whole video. Second off, why are you complaining at this moment now to complain about spoilers? So anyway, guys, this has been Corey for Epps World Entertainment. Hope you guys have a good one. Have a day. And you know what? I think I'm gonna put my Johnny Cage glasses on and say, it's showtime.